Hey guys, Eric Burns again, showing the ghillie blind in a much shorter video this time. I'm sitting in it right now. I have brushed in the roof with the raffia grass from JStern. I ordered 33 pounds of it. We're inside the blind right now. I've just been messing with it. In the first video I spoke about some of the pros and cons of the blind, and I'll address some of the things that I corrected with some of those cons. I have some good news to report. The fittings on the end of the blind here, these panels, I said they were kind of tight. Well, this Saturday we goose hunted, or teal hunted, that had gone goose hunt out of this blind, and after using it and having the panels on there for a while, they did stretch out just a little bit, so they're not quite as hard on the eyelets anymore as they once were. The other thing too is the pins here. They have kind of broken in. I did take a file and file some of them out, and that did help. I did have one that was pretty cumbersome, and I did fix it. But some of the other ones that were a little stubborn, they are much better now. I think having them in there and moving the blind around and stuff wiggled them to where the it's opened up a bit more. So sorry, my camera work's not the best. So looking up through the roof, I have the raffia grass attached. One thing I learned is these straps here, you can tighten them and it'll allow you to control a bit of the pitch on the roof here. I don't have it adjusted just yet, but if you wanted this to not be closed all the way, you could have it, say about right here. You could have that little bit of an opening so you're not having to look out through such a narrow area. Well, let's take a look on the outside of the blind and I'll show you what I've done so far. Alrighty, and here is the top of the blind. This is raffia grass that I had put on today. It is very tedious to put on, and I simply just put it on by doing a hitch like this. I don't split it exactly in half. I leave one side longer than the other. Good example of that, you can see some of the ends are a little bit shorter on one side there, and then the rest of it is longer. It just goes further that way. You get the longer strands that drape much further out over the top of the blind. This is from JStern. I bought 33 pounds of raffia grass, and it was about $215, and that includes shipping, so it's not too bad. This goes a very long ways. Like I said, it's very tedious putting on. There's 4 colors here. I really like this darker brown. It looks like dried smartweed. I added a little bit of green in there, and like a tan, and then one that they call timber. Oh, look at the outside of the blind here. We did goose hunt / teal hunt out of this on Saturday for the Texas opener. We did shoot a few geese out of it, which was awesome. The birds did not know we were here. So all this brush that you see on it right now, besides the raffia grass, is what we did on Saturday. I'm actually going to remove all this grass and mud the panels, so I didn't do that yet, and then reapply the brush. And I'm also going to make more grass clusters for the future to brush it in a little bit more, just patch up things like this. I did not reapply this today. I put this on Saturday, and I simply rolled it right back up, and it held it all beautifully. So I'm super impressed with the blind. In fact, I ordered a second one just yesterday. So very, very cool. The chair I decided to go with in this blind is the Redneck Blinds hunting blind chair. Each leg is adjustable. Right here you got a few inches of adjustment, so if you're sitting on uneven ground, you can adjust each leg individually, the rear or the fronts. So if you were sitting on a levee, you could shorten the front legs like so, and then lengthen the rear leg, and then have it level out for you. There's a ton of mosquitoes in here. I put DEET on. I don't think it matters right now. All right, back to the meat and potatoes. I did mention in my first video that this mesh for the front on the panels, on the front of these panels, that for brushing it would be problemsome later on. It will break down, it will get frail, it will rip. I'm already seeing a little bit of damage here. As you can see, there's a tear and that's from folding this up and getting pinched. My recommendation to Drake Waterfowl is to make this panel just come down a bit further, just to help with that problem. It's gonna get ripped even while you're hunting. I just would have not liked to see that happen. So far, you know, only using it one time, but I guess that's a pretty easy fix. You can stitch that up with no sewing skills whatsoever. So you can run monofilament fishing line through there, braided fishing line, and just tie it off and keep it from spreading. So easy fix. One more issue I had with the blind that is also being addressed. Where are we at? Give me 1 second. It's right here. This leg, you can see the screws in there, but on the other side of this, the locking nut came off. Saturday morning, when we were going out to hunt, and I went to put the blind together, this leg was this leg was not attached to the frame, and the locking nut on the back was gone. So that wasn't cool. But the cool thing is it was able to still slide right in there, and you could still lock it in with the pin, and as long as you didn't pick the blind straight up, it wasn't going to go anywhere. So still sucked, but at least it didn't end the hunt or anything. We hunted with 3 of us on the blind Saturday, and there was certainly enough room for a 4th person. 3 was very comfortable. 4 would be slightly cramped, but it would still be very doable. Not too bad. And here's the view looking straight up from the hunter's perspective at the blind. You would be able to see ducks coming in this really easy. The geese, when they approached us on Saturday, of course they're always noisy when they come in. We had a bunch of graders come in. They made their presence known, and we called them in, and they worked us a little bit, and we were looking at the back of the blind as they approached, and it was really fun to be able to move around and watch them without having them detecting us at all in the blind. That was pretty fun. Not like being in a layout blind where you had to get on your belly to look back, or wait, or try to rubberneck to find the birds and where they're at to get a 0 on them. It was awesome. So really love the blind. I love everything about it. Just those little issues that it has, I can live with. So they're easily repaired, easily fixed. So I can't wait to see big ducks in November through this thing. It's going to be devastating and comfortable. That's the great thing about it. We'll all be comfortable. Me and my clients will be comfortable. That's the very important thing. So all my clients can look out the blind and look at the birds and watch them work without flaring them. So the raffia grass looks thin on the bottom, but as you saw on the outside, it covers the top very nice. The raffia is so light that there's minimal sagging here. I will say Saturday we did put some, we brushed it in with just natural vegetation. It was wet that morning, so it did sag pretty good. We just tightened these straps up a bit more to fix that. One more thing, I'm not going to do it on this video, but on the first video I was trying to roll the blind up back in the black mat, and I had some trouble with the buckles. I went to Harbor Freight, and they have the orange like tie downs, but they're not ratcheting. They just have the teeth, the little pinchers, I forget what they're called. It's just the regular tie down buckles without the ratcheting, and that can just be simply wrapped around really easy, and then you could just tie the tag ends from one side to the other and be able to carry this thing out. This blind brushed in is extremely heavy. Out of the box it's 48 pounds. When you brush this thing in and you go to wrap it back up, it's going to weigh quite a bit more. So be prepared for that. This is not a blind for walking in. This is a blind if you can drive up to where you're going to hunt or walk a minimal distance. It's perfect for that. So carrying it a half mile into public land or further, unless you're the Incredible Hulk, it ain't happening. So anyway, I'm going to keep it short. Thanks for watching again. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comments section. And yeah, the Drake Ghillie, it's now ghillied up. So awesome. Thank you guys.